Class Tokyo, weekly podcast about life in Japan and the collision of Asian and American culture. Welcome to season 2, everybody. I'm your host, Kim, English teacher by day and by night podcaster extraordinaire, broadcasting to you from Tokyo, Japan. Joining me today from sunny LA is my co-host, Justine.
Hello, friend. Happy New Year.
Hello. Happy New Year.
I missed
Happy
you.
New Year. Aw. We had a nice little break in between there. It was a nice little winter break.
I literally had to recalibrate on how do I do a podcast again? What I need headphones?
I don't... Not that I ever knew how to do a podcast to begin with, but here we are, season 2. We're back, and hopefully bigger and better than ever. Top Class Tokyo, I feel like is going to be a misnomer pretty soon because I'm actually planning on moving back to America.
One of us.
So I'm not sure how many more seasons of Top Class Tokyo there are actually going to be. So let's make the most of it while I'm still here in Tokyo.
No, we just pivot to a rebrand. That's what's happening.
Yes. We'll have to rebrand at some point down the road in 2022. So keep your keep out an eye out for that one in the future, everybody. Okay, thank you for sticking with us for another wonderful season of the authentic Top Class Tokyo. So anything on the report card today?
I
Justine?
actually watched anime these past 3 weeks or so.
Golf clap.
But yes, there are things I wish to complain about and things I want to be like, what did you guys feel about it? First one is going to be the, I guess, second and third season of Demon Slayer. And the third or fourth season of Aggretsuko, because I just caught up on Aggretsuko, and I was just like, whoa.
Yes, I have caught up on both of those animes,
Okay.
Yes.
We have words. I have words.
Yeah, we can talk about this. Do you want to start with Demon Slayer?
Yes. I'm upset because I waste like 6-7 episodes on watching the fucking train arc again.
The fucking train.
And I was like, what the fuck is this? And I was like, wait, there has to be something there. It's literally fucking copy pasta of the fucking movie, and I'm upset about it. And just like,
I thought I complained about this last year.
Yeah.
I was like, I went to the theater and I saw it in the theater, and then I thought we covered this already.
Well, no, I was like upset about that, but I didn't want to like follow up with the upsetness till the next season was out, so I can be like, okay, at least there's something else I can look forward to. So I held off till like the 4th season or 4th arc or whatever, Entertainment District arc was out before catching up on it.
Okay.
And yeah, I was salty about that season 2 being a fucking wash because it's just a movie cut in pieces. But then Entertainment arc, I was like, okay, Daki's fucking hot. And I'm committed to actually reading the manga now because I'm invested. So I went down my fucking wiki rabbit hole and I was like, oh, we're gonna read about the fucking wives. We're gonna read about Daki. Fuck. Okay. I'm gonna read this manga now. So that's where I am now. I'm committed.
Okay. Yeah, it's interesting. I was like, we don't really know much about any of the Hashira. Like, they don't really give too much away other than just, like, showing you the lineup, from season 1. So I feel like it sets it up, like, the storyline. Because I haven't read the manga either, so I don't know what's coming. So, yeah, Entertainment District seems like it's going to...
Well, for one thing, it's fucking Entertainment Districts. It's like, oh yeah, I'm here for all the geisha and the prostitution and shit. Let's go. Yeah.
Yes, and the polygamy. So here we go.
Yeah, I want to be a fucking waifu. He's fucking daddy. I fucking start sending you memes.
Waifus.
I was like, these are memes of how I feel about fucking Uzi, okay?
I know, like, I actually, wait, I don't know if like any recent episodes have come out because I got up to the point where they go undercover. A spoiler alert. They go undercover as like fake geisha girls, and then like I think their cover just got blown. So that's where I'm at right now. So I don't know if there was like another episode that came.
No, it's just like a bunch of really good fight scenes, but then there's a lot of like, oh, I want to see all the waifus. Oh, which one's my favorite? Oh, which one should I cosplay as? Okay, but yeah.
Yeah. I haven't actually met the waifus yet. They're still missing.
But you already see them in the opening, so you already know what they look like.
Yeah, we've catch a glimpse of them in the opening sequence, so we know who is missing, and we know that we must find the waifus, protect the anime waifus at all costs. So looking forward to the rest of the entertainment arc district. I actually like it honestly better than the Flame Hashira arc. Yeah. Just because it was. Not that one Hashira is better than the other, but I don't know. It's just so tragic and sad. It's just, because he fucking, everyone who, big spoiler, massive spoiler, he fucking dies at the end of this arc. You know what I mean? So it ends on such a downer that I feel like we need, something really lively like a
some banging bitches for the next fucking 6 episodes.
Oh yeah, except that they haven't shown up yet, so we were promised. We're promised. We are promised the anime waifus.
They fucking deliver.
All right, I'm gonna have to go binge watch the rest of the episodes I haven't seen yet. So it sounds like this is rating pretty high on the report card.
But that's because I'm a fucking aesthetic hoe, and when I see pretty bitches, I'm just like, oh yeah, 100%, take my money. So that's why I'm like, entertainment mark, yes.
yes, and yeah, I kind of appreciate that the main villain is like a female demon, so it's like and is a powerful female character. So I really enjoy that because all we've seen really is just everybody, being like absolutely incomparable to Muzan. So so I feel like Muzan is just not even an interesting character at all because he's so. Like OP, so untouchable, So I don't know. That's my take on it, but but yeah. All right, looking forward to the rest of the entertainment arc. I would rate it as very strong opening. I would highly recommend it to everybody. It's an A in my book.
Yes.
It seems like it's an A.
Absolutely.
All right. Everybody, watch Demon Slayer season 3. Catch up.
But yeah, like honestly, I think what it sells it for me is that like I'm like all about the tragic backstories. So all the fucking demons is like, oh, how did you become a demon? I need to fucking know. It's like that's where I get my like hit of, oh, give me all the tragic backstories as to why you're a bad boy. And I'm just like, oh, I love bad boys. So this is why I'm invested, because it fits like all the shit that I want, and they just on top of that they put a fucking like fucking harem with fucking the waifus, and I'm just like, okay, I'm ready.
Yeah, honestly, that's probably why I'm rating it so high, because I've talked about harem anime so much in season 1 of this podcast, and I'm like, whoa, we get a shonen action combined with like a harem anime with like a not shitty harem protagonist, and I'm like, wow, like this is so rare. And I don't know, this is so cool.
Like, not gonna lie, I initially hated him because his character design was so flashy and gaudy and gross, but I'm just like, oh, but he takes care of his bitches. Oh, okay, I like him now.
Well, I mean, literally, like, it seems like every Hashira has been over the top. At least the first 2 that we've been introduced.
The flame guy was just kind of fucking weird, though, because, well, I like the whole, like, eating everything all the time, but everything being fucking delicious. I'm just like, oh my god, you are so fucking weird. But
he just seems really, like, socially awkward, and he just doesn't know how to, like, interact with other people. So,
this is why the nerds can relate. They relate so well.
Yeah, I don't know. And we see nothing about his mom, so we don't know what his like home life was like, other than just having a shitty dad. So,
but I like how they like wrap it up with the bow at the end when they like start the fourth season before they go to entertainment because they're like, okay, let's go meet up with dad and ask about the book and shit. Go say hi to little bro.
Yeah, but the book ends up being... The book is destroyed, so it's kind of like, well, that was fucking pointless. So.
Yeah, but then fucking hard-ass dad is all like, ooh, and I was just like, oh, that's right, little bitch. Fucking oldest son is dead.
Dad, I'm like, okay, whatever. You're kind of a shitty dad. I don't feel sorry for you. He was an alcoholic and he was abusive.
I'm hoping that he's gonna, like, get that character development where he's like, oh, I was a fucking asshole for a long time. Let me tell you what I learned from this fucking book, man. And I hope they become, like, surrogate dad-esque vibes with the dad of the Flame guy and Tanjiro.
I don't see that happening, honestly.
But he was sad!
I don't see it happening. He was sad because his, like, son died. Who wouldn't be sad? But, you know, he has to be a human being. But, like, he's still... I don't think it redeems him. He's still a shitty human being.
Okay. I'll have to binge read the manga and I'll be like, I withhold my comments till I finish reading this fucking show.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. Time will tell. At least all the manga people know what's up. So.
Yeah. But now I'm kind of like, should I read the manga or should I just like ride this ride and then like read it after I'm all salty with how it ended?
I enjoy the animation with all of the, voice acting and everything, and the actual like color and fight scenes. So I would rather just wait for the anime, honestly, but yeah.
I also like how you get to see how fucking beautiful, what's his face is. He's the board guy. Fuck, the beautiful one.
Inosuke?
Yeah.
Inosuke,
I'm just like, God, you're fucking dumb as shit, but you're fucking beautiful. I love you.
It's so weird to me. I'm sorry. It's really jarring for me to be like, like from the neck down, he's just like super cut, and then like from the neck up, he's basically
beautiful.
Like a Barbie doll. I'm just like, this is too weird for me. Whatever floats your boat. Okay.
Yes. So after catching up on
Aggretsuko?
Yes.
Switching gears.
I finally have partial access to a Netflix account. Therefore, I was like, oh, should I watch Don't Look Up or should I watch Aggretsuko?
Oh my god, you should watch both.
I did.
I did. Oh, yes.
Surprise,
okay,
more things we can talk about.
I know, yeah, but let's talk about Aggretsuko first.
Okay, so last I remember, she broke up with her rich fucking like startup boyfriend, and then she's like, I'ma do me, I'ma be happy for me, and then it's when the coworkers are trying to fucking pair up the little bitch ass, what's his face, the office, the coworker, the guy, the fox guy, I forgot his name.
Fox? You mean the hyena guy?
Yeah. I don't know his name, but he's a little bitch and I don't like him.
Haida?
Yeah, Haida. But he's all like pussying out every time, and I was just like, this reminds me of like very generic, like, what's the romance animes? Or like, I wanna go date this person, unrequited love, ooh, someday I'll have courage. But he never fucking does, this little bitch. So I didn't care much for him, but I like the whole like, career development part of it, and I was just like, let's see how this fucking goes.
Yeah, that was kind of a weird twist. That Haida basically becomes a corrupt and fraudulent office worker who's just like fucking like juking the numbers, and I'm like, this is strange. He's willing to like commit fraud, but he's not willing to be honest about his feelings. Okay. So,
bitch ass Haida. Never liked him.
Yeah, I don't know. He kind of becomes also like unredeemable to me, and I'm like, okay, so this is why you're always a loser. So.
But I honestly, like, my favorite character in Aggretsuko has been Pinnacle, and she's still my favorite character. Like, I like how she's like, oh yeah, by the way, his family's rich. They own apartments in Tokyo. And I'm just like, explains why I don't fucking like you little fucking rich prick that doesn't know how to fucking feel. I hate you.
Yeah. it kind of all starts to make sense, doesn't it? It's kind of like Haida never had to work hard for anything, and he was just kind of like given things in life, and he just expects things to go his way without putting in the work.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I was like, wow, that's really interesting. It sort of like reveals another side to Haida that you just, you know, wouldn't have known if Feniko hadn't,
Stalked him.
you know, been stalked him, been gossiping about him.
This is what the inside of his house looks like.
Yeah.
He doesn't pay rent because he lives in one of his parents' apartment complexes.
Yeah, I don't know. Watching Aggretsuko while living in Tokyo, Japan, it just feels so close to home for me. And I'm it's just like, I'm like, I literally see these characters around me every day. Like, this isn't like actual fiction for me. So I'm like, this is a little, it's kind of weird because I've seen like other Japanese people also expressing this kind of opinion that it's like, this series is like almost difficult to watch because of how realistic of a portrayal it is in some aspects of Japanese life.
Too real.
Yeah, it's too real. But yeah.
But I think for this season, I felt like it was refreshing compared to like, oh, I'm frustrated with my job. Oh, I'm gonna pursue careers. I also like how who's the horse or the donkey or whatever, the ex-boyfriend?
Yeah, the rich guy.
Yeah, I like how he's still like helpful and shit, and he's like, "Oh, you have influence. Let's build your fucking YouTube channel." And I was just like, "Oh, this boy, you should have fucking stayed with him."
I know, right? I'm like, what are you doing? Like, she let a good one go.
But the fact that they're still buddies, and then he's still like willing to like help and shit, and just like, all right, I'm okay with this.
Yeah.
I want one of those little startup bros that'll be my bestie when I'm fucking trying to like become Insta famous or some shit like that.
Aw. But yeah, Aggretsuko, I kind of feel like Aggretsuko is like an acquired sort of taste. I don't think it's everyone's cup of tea, because you generally would have to like kind of slice of life, rom-com sort of animes, I guess, in order to enjoy it. So it's not for everybody, but I don't know. For me, I guess I would give it like a B, a solid B for me. Anyways, if you like that kind of stuff. Aggretsuko.
Like, I feel like content-wise for this season, I was never really like super invested into Aggretsuko, but I was kind of like, well, this is like something that I find it easy to watch because the characters are cute and because the stories aren't too complicated. It's like, because it's real world, it's easier to like just hop in and be like, oh yes, this runs parallel to some things that may or may not have happened in my life, type of deal. So it's like, a very good like easy watch for me. Like, I would probably watch it if I'm like multitasking. But I low-key watch it so I can practice my Japanese too, so I'm just like, okay, the language in this is like, I could recognize it and be able to utilize it in like daily life in Japanese, so I'm dual functions for it.
Yeah, for me, part of the reason why I actually like watching it is because of how much it reflects real Japanese life, and like just watching how different characters' reactions and like how different characters handle themselves in different situations kind of like informs me of like, oh, okay, that's what a Japanese person would do like if this thing happens.
Yo, the fucking layoff strats though, I'm just like, God, fucking working in Japan is fucking brutal.
Yeah, that's why I'm like, I'm out of here, guys.
Fucking Tan though, I'm just like, oh, poor guy. Fuck.
I kind of liked how they, like, how his character really shifted too, where he was just like very one-dimensional, and it was just like, he's just a bad boss. He's just like, you know, like using power harassment to like control and like abuse all of his like underlings. But now it was like, he was sort of put in a place to I don't know. His character got more complicated or more complex as the series went on, and it was sort of like watching the power dynamic of like this corporation. Like, I don't know. It was just, I don't know. It's something that is so uniquely Japanese, I think, that I don't know. It's hard to say something like that would happen in America unless it was.
Nope.
Yeah, I don't see that. Yeah.
It's like, I feel like the whole demoting and like voluntary, like resigning, voluntary resignations is such a very like non-American thing. Like, I think that's like, you know how like in Asian culture there's a lot of keeping face thing, and how they don't want to villainize a certain like your employer doesn't want to be villainized. They don't want to feel like they're the one that they did wrong. They kind of force you into a situation where, yeah, you're like getting fucking bullied to the point where you want to quit, but either way, on paper, they don't look bad. Like, I feel like it's a very Japanese way to be like, we're gonna fire you, but you're the one that's quitting, so it's not our fault.
Yeah, and it's also sort of like, it from an American perspective, it's kind of like they pass judgment on you based off of things that you personally don't have control of. Like, when I remember one part in the series where they were trying to force the hippo lady to resign, and then it was like, oh, we have to pick someone on the team, but we're gonna pick her because her husband's a doctor.
Yeah.
And, you know, and she can just be a stay-at-home mom and, you know, take care of her children. She has kids, so we're just gonna pick the like middle-aged lady to force her out. So there's a lot of this kind of like discrimination, I think, that happens in Japan that is just accepted as part of the culture.
Yeah.
And it also has like such a huge influence on the workplace too.
So glad I caught early. I do not want to work for an Asian company because of the fucking work culture.
What am I doing here? Mistakes were made.
This is how they trick you. Miracle number one. Just kidding. God, no, we're not. But
all right.
Okay.
Oh yeah, America number one. Should we talk about Don't Look Up?
Yes, we can. Okay, Aggretsuko, I agree with like maybe like for the educational part of it and the whole insight to work culture in Japan, I feel like the latest season of Aggretsuko I would give a B+. Just because of the insight part of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I also watched Don't Look Up, which I had a lot of like, oh, this is our life feels. Oh my god.
Oh my
Talking
gosh.
about things that relate to real life.
There's a British friend I have who was like, oh, I saw this on Netflix. Like, it looks, I kind of heard about it. It looks good. Should I watch it? And I'm like, yes, you should. And you should also know that this is a very accurate reflection of America. And this is coming from an actual American. So please watch Don't Look Up. Oh my god, it was not what I expected, but it was so much better than what I expected. So, yeah, solid A+ for Don't Look Up from me. Yeah, I love apocalyptic science fiction. So.
Yeah. But I think what I liked about it was trying to match which characters were supposed to be who in real life, and like the whole, oh, we're not gonna go with the survival strat angle of this show. We're gonna do it based off like realistically what would like a normal person fucking do if it were the end of the world. And like comparing that to how the super privileged have their options versus everyone else are like, oh well, this is what it is, whatever, let's go out, it'll be great.
Yeah, and it's not like the end of the world is happening in like 3 days. It gives people time to think about it and like accept it. It's like just enough time, like it was in the span of 6 months.
Yeah.
You know, and then that's the fucking twist. You know, it's just that people are, you know, climate change deniers and like anti-vax hoax, you know, coronavirus hoax people. So I'm just like, wow, like this is where we are. This is where we're at. Okay. All right. Okay.
But yeah, thoroughly entertaining. I enjoyed Don't Look Up. It's a very This Is Our
Yeah.
Life Now movie, by the way. It might not be comics, but it'll affect the like future of humanity to a greater extent.
Yeah, and I'm finally excited. I got to watch something with Timothy Chalamet in it because I've just been hearing his name constantly for the like
Who
past
is
few
he?
years.
I've heard his name too. Who did he
Yeah,
play in
because
the show or in the movie?
he was like the skater punk guy.
Oh,
who,
okay,
like,
okay.
hooks up with what's her face, the astronomer girl.
I forget who's that. She's Hunger Games. What's her name?
Yes,
Yeah,
Jennifer Lawrence.
Yeah.
So yeah, he ends up being her like boyfriend by the end of the movie. So yeah, and he's also starring in another science fiction movie that came out like over the past year, Dune, which I have not seen, but I've heard it was.
That's after the book, right?
Yes,
yeah.
Dune is another old science fiction dystopian future sort of book that I want to watch, but I heard the ending sucks, so I'm just kind of like,
If it happens, it happens.
Yeah. But also co-starring Zendaya, so we'll see.
Hey.
I don't know.
I always like seeing a TikTok, or no, what's it? Instagram reels about her interviews with Tom Holland and them being cute and shit. I'm just like, oh.
Oh yeah, I see those memes.
Yeah.
The Spider-Man memes. Yeah. It's really cute. I haven't watched that movie either though, because I haven't kept up with the Spider-Man franchise.
Mm-hmm. Same here. I haven't either, but
yeah.
It's like,
it's just been rebooted so many times. Like I can't keep track of all of the timelines in the Marvel universe, at least for Spider-Man anyways, because the last one I saw in theaters was Into the Spider-Verse, and that was already like,
the animated
okay, we have
one,
multiples.
Right? Yeah, I like that one. The soundtrack on that was good.
Yeah. So I think I watched that while I was still in America when that first came out. But also, yeah.
Well, I feel like I don't generally follow the Spider-Man or like the Marvel Spider-Man universe either. Like when I watched Spider-Man, the last time I remember watching or going out of my way to watch was when Tobey Maguire was Spider-Man, and after that, I'm just
he was like the worst Spider-Man.
Yeah, but that's the last time I remember watching Spider-Man, and I'm just like, I just remember this guy.
Toby.
I don't know these other guys. I heard the other. Who is the Spider-Man after him? He stars in Tick Tick Boom.
I don't know what Tick Tick
Boom
is.
It's another movie on Netflix that's like a musical.
Ooh.
But
is it Andrew Garfield?
Yeah, that one. I heard he's supposed to be the worst one.
Really? I thought he was an improvement over Tobey Maguire.
Okay, I'll have to revisit it, but I heard
because Spider-Man 3 was fucking terrible, but it was like awesomely bad in my opinion, because like probably the worst Spider-Man movie of all time, but I kind of just loved how crazy it got, and I'm just like, am I still watching a Spider-Man movie? for the particular scene that, yes, all of you are thinking about if you've seen this movie. Yeah. Okay. But yeah, speaking of Marvel, actually, this is another good segue. I have hijacked my brother's login for his Disney Plus account.
Hey.
So I've actually binge watched so much Pixar, Marvel stuff in the last couple weeks over the break. Another series that I've binge watched over Christmas break was Loki. Have you seen Loki?
No, I haven't.
Oh my god. So I was hearing a lot of really good things about Loki, so I was kind of excited to watch it. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And it takes place after he disappears from the Avengers movie, and he like grabs the Tesseract and he like time warps out of there and he like runs away basically. Mm-hmm. And it's only 6 episodes, and it follows him after he like teleports to another place in the world. So it was really not what I expected, though. So I don't want to, if you haven't seen it, I don't want to give too much away.
I just know something, alternate universe Loki, something, there's an alligator Loki, something, that I didn't really follow the rest. I spoiled myself, don't worry about it.
Okay. Yeah, it was not what I expected in the sense that it actually turns into a cop show. And Loki basically is sort of blackmailed into working with time cops and catching himself in another universe, or I guess. So it's this sort of like, it turns into a cop show, and I'm like, oh my god, how has the god of mischief, like, how did they manage this? I'm like, it's just like mind-boggling to me. I'm like, this is a literal god with magic powers, and he's working as a cop in a cop show. And I'm like, I don't know. It was just...
We're just here to milk all the money out of this Loki brand for whatever said reason, so we're just gonna make fucking content because we can make money off of it.
I mean, it's well made. I thought it was well made. I thought it was well written, but just the choices in the direction that it went, there's just a lot of choices.
It's just Loki fan service. Make it to a cop show and get him into all these fucking predicaments.
I wish it was Loki fan service. I wish it was Loki fan service, because I feel like there are a few moments of Loki fan service, but it's just like, really? A cop show? I don't know. It just seems like, of all of the scenarios that you could put Loki in, that he could transport himself into, they turn it into a cop show.
Is that the one where it like intersects with the WandaVision and stuff?
I haven't seen WandaVision.
I haven't either, but I heard like a lot of the spin-offs that they've been making for Marvel stuff have like overlapping universes. So people were like geeking out about like, oh, this overlapped with this, and I was just like, I'm not committed, but that's nice. I'll get there someday.
Yeah, I haven't watched WandaVision because I'm not really into like these like
spin-off.
Minor.
Yeah.
Like I'm not even sure who the characters are for like this series. So
or like okay. Same with the Eternals. Like I didn't follow.
I heard that was really bad.
And I was just like, no, I'm good.
I heard that was really bad.
Yeah. And
I'm like, okay, there's way too many people in this ensemble, and I don't know any of them. So I'm like, no, this is a pass for me. But yeah, I thought Tom Hiddleston is great as Loki, and so like good actor and good character. So I give it an A-, because it's like worth watching and it's good, especially if you like Loki and the Marvel universe and you've followed all of these characters. I think it gives a lot of depth, and it adds a lot of lore to the series and just what some of these other side characters are up to, and like gives you an understanding of like how like time jumping and like all of these other layered like multiverses work. So I think it's worth watching if you're interested in that kind of side of the series, but it's just like it almost yeah, I don't know, it's just there are just certain things that happen in it that I just didn't like, and I don't want to spoil it for you, but okay. I don't know if I should spoil it for you because I want to say it, but I'm like, oh god, it's kind of a big one. So
I'll read it on Wikipedia. You'll be fine.
Okay. Should I just say it then? Because it's it's almost like you can predict this happening, but obviously within the series, he's jumping into different dimensions and trying to catch different versions of himself, and that's why there's like an alligator Loki, that's why there's like a kid Loki, and there's like an old man Loki, and obviously one of the other Lokis turns out being a female Loki that
Hey.
he falls in love with, and
Aw.
I'm like, I'm like, no. I'm kind of like, I wasn't a fan of that direction.
He ships himself. Aww.
I know, and I'm like, I had to ask myself the question. I'm like, is this incest? Is Loki like falling in love with himself, wanting to do himself? Is that incest? And I'm like, I had to think about it as a thought exercise, and I'm like, on the surface, you would think so, yes, because it's Loki trying to fuck himself, Loki. But actually, no, it's not incest, because if you think about each Loki being a different seed, basically, they grow through different timelines, right?
Mhm.
So it's sort of like they actually aren't clones of themselves because they have different paths.
Yeah.
So it's almost like Loki, quote unquote. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
like he's not actually
He found his soulmate.
It's not actually Loki. And I'm like, ugh. But I don't know. It just felt forced to me, and I'm just like, really? I don't know. I didn't like it.
And is that how it ends? He just he finds his boo, and his boo is him, and he's like, bae.
Well, that's the thing about it, is that Loki's character he's a narcissist, so he obviously loves himself and he falls in love with himself, but the other side of his personality is that he's totally untrustworthy. So so the girl female Loki betrays him in the end. So
I had a good run.
But that's what I'm like, also sort of like, this is so like predictable in a way that it's just kind of tragic, because then you see Loki's character change. It's almost like I didn't like the way that they sort of shoehorned this romance in, because it forces Loki to kind of change for good. And I'm like, I just didn't feel like that was very Loki-like. That they're basically making Loki this very like white bread like protagonist that just isn't full of surprises. Yeah, they took all of the surprise and like mischief out of his character by forcing him into this love story. Yeah, so I'm like, I don't know. It just, I really didn't like the way they wrote the end of this. The last 3 episodes, I would say, but
I'm so glad I chose Netflix over Disney Plus in terms of which streaming service I wanted to piggyback off of. Because my options are HBO, Netflix, or Disney Plus, because I specifically wanted to watch Encanto, just because I fucking love musicals, and I've just been reading all the Wikipedias on it. Did you watch it yet?
I did watch Encanto. Of course, I have Disney Plus. Encanto was really good. It was really good.
I read all the spoilers on Wikipedia, but it's on my list of I need to watch this at some point because it's cute.
You didn't watch it yet?
No, I just read the Wikipedia and I was like, oh, this is cute. Oh, I just want to hear all the songs. Oh.
Yeah, I think it was good. I just don't think it was like
Frozen status.
It wasn't Frozen status. She's not a princess. It doesn't elevate. The story doesn't have like crazy high stakes, I would say. That's what I feel like keeps it from being like an epic, like this massive sort of epic story.
But it hits the demographics. We gotta go hit the Latinx community and they'll watch this and they'll pay money for it. We can make so much money off of this Latinx sourced merch and storyline and shit.
I'm surprised there hasn't been like a Spanish, like Hispanic princess at this point. Then I'm like, why?
Well, you got
who's
the little princess? It's one of the Disney Junior princesses. I forget her name. She wears a red dress.
The only one, I have no idea. I don't know. See, like
they're hitting the children. They're getting the children first.
There isn't one. There's no Spanish speaking like top
Sophia the First.
Top shelf. We need a top shelf Spanish princess. That's what I'm saying. Like there isn't one yet. Not yet.
They're hitting the children's market first. Sophia the First is technically Spanish.
So, she doesn't have a feeture film.
She got some like direct to video, direct to streaming film.
That's not what I'm talking about. No. I'm talking about like feature length theatrical release. Like you need some Broadway stars to like voice the musical kind of shit. You know what I'm saying?
She got Sophia the First on ice though. Yeah, I don't really think she counts as a real Disney princess either.
Yeah,
so I
don't
agree.
think. Yeah, unfortunately, I think we still have some time before that happens. So we'll be waiting, Disney. All right. Should we end it here then?
Do we got everything else? I feel like we covered a lot of bases.
We covered a lot. There was a lot of stuff we watched over the break, so
I'm glad we talked about stuff we both talked about. We both watched. Yay! I'm helping.
Yay! Well, hopefully in season 2 of Top Class Tokyo, we'll get more feedback from our lovely 5 subscribers.
I'll heckle my friends. Interact with us.
All 5 of you, if you have any questions, comments, suggestions, or requests for topics you'd like to hear more about, please reach out to us on our social media at Top Class Tokyo on Instagram, YouTube, and Twitter, or send us an email at topclasstokyo@gmail.com. Thank you so much for tuning in, and stay classy, Tokyo. I still haven't decided what our sign out is.
I'm glad I don't have to say anything.
I'm like, wait, what was our sign out again?
Class dismissed or some.
Class is dismissed. There you go.
Yeah. Got him.
Class dismissed. We'll see you in the next episode, everybody. Thank you. Bye-bye.